third graders, I'm delighted to be with you here today to talk about 3 books that cover a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the power of words, stories, and books. Words enable one person to kind of plop his or her ideas into the mind of another person, and they inspire our imaginations to create entire whole new worlds that never existed before. The first book we're going to take a look at is a book called The Boy Who Loves Words, and it's written by Ronnie Schotter and illustrated by Giselle Potter. As you can see here, this book is a Parents' Choice Award winner, and that award was established in 1978 to identify books and also toys that inspire a love of learning in children. The first thing I'd like to do here is show you our main character, who's a young boy who likes to collect words. He collects words the same way somebody might collect Pokemon cards or even slime. They're actually these physical slips of words he collects and kind of stuffs them all around. You can see them here in his socks. He's got some stuffed in the collar of his shirt. He's even got some under his hat. And this strange behavior, this strange tendency to collect things is not something that's very popular among his peers. He's made fun of and called things like an oddball. He's called a Wordsworth, which actually ends up, we learn later in the book, to be a compliment rather than a put down. Wordsworth was an English poet he wrote in the Romantic style during the 1800s. So it's actually a good thing to be a Wordsworth, which is something he learns when he has a dream with this genie who pops up and tells him he's got one wish he can make. And when he thinks about his wish, the only thing he most wants out of everything all in the world is to have an answer. And the answer is to whether or not it's true that he's an oddball. And he learns from this genie that he isn't an oddball at all. He's somebody with a passion. And the one thing he lacks is a purpose for his passion. So this little boy named Selig goes off on a journey. He packs a bag, he's got a pillow and a blanket, and he also takes all his huge collection of words. Well, on his travels, this bag he has filled with all of these words he's collected from everywhere gets so heavy he can't carry it anymore. So he decides to take the words and very carefully stick each one on the end of a twig on a tree. And so it seems at first like he's leaving his precious collection behind. But if you continue reading this book, you'll find that there actually is a really exciting turn of events that brings a purpose to his passion and helps him share his passion with other people in the world. If you want to learn more about his adventure, please do read The Boy Who Loved Words. There's something great I want to point out to you. If you're someone who enjoys the sound of words, like tintinnabulating, which is a word I think is really fun to say, and tantalizing, for example, at the back of the book there is a glossary. So if you encounter some words in the text here, you can go ahead and find out their meanings and add those words to your collection of words as well. The second book I want to talk to you about is also about a person who loves words, and he specifically loves the words in books. It's called The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lesmore, and it's written and illustrated by William Joyce. This book, as you can see on the cover, actually inspired a movie. It's a very brief movie. I believe it's 17 minutes. So if it's something that interests you and you read it, I suggest you read it first, but then you can go ahead and check out the movie as well and see how the creators of the movie maybe have similarities and differences to the way you envisioned the book. So Mr. Morris Lesmore, similar to Selig from the last book we took a look at, is a lover of books and stories. He's a lover of words. Not only does he surround himself with books, as you can see here, but he also writes a book of his own. He records the events of his life and his ideas and his thoughts and his wishes and his hopes in a journal he keeps throughout the book. Unfortunately, however, there comes a time where everything is turned upside down in Morris's life. And if you notice here, the illustrations have changed. When we first meet Morris, our illustrations are in color. But when everything gets turned topsy-turvy, our illustrations are in black and white. So he also begins a journey to kind of make sense of his life that's been turned upside down. And lucky for him, runs into a lady who is floating by in the sky, being pulled along by a squadron of books. If you want to know how this squadron of books helps Morris Lesmore make sense of his life, then you should definitely take this book out from the library and learn more about it. And I've got the cover of it here. I also challenge you, if you're somebody who likes word puzzles or puzzles of any kind, to think a little bit more about Morris Lesmore's name and see if you can identify something significant or meaningful about it. The last book I want to talk to you about is called The Whisperer, and it's by Pamela Zagorensky. This book is actually the winner of 2 Caldecott honors. The Caldecott Award is an award given to illustrators who've created the most distinguished American books, picture books for children. And it's a very prestigious, very well-respected award. And for people who don't quite win the award but are runners-up, they're offered a Caldecott honor. And this author and illustrator has been offered 2 Caldecott honors. One of the things that will stand out to you, I hope, if you choose to take this book out, is the amazing illustrations. And I'm going to point some out to you here. This book is about a little girl who loves stories. And she sees a story kind of up on a shelf in her classroom and asks her teacher if she can borrow it to take it home, and she's told yes. But something terrible happens on her walk home. If you can see here, all of the words fall out of her book. When she gets home, she discovers that her book has no words, and she's at a loss for what to do. I'm not going to tell you what decisions she makes. I'm going to leave it up to you to take this book out and find out. But I do want to share with you some of these beautiful illustrations. There's so much to look at and to think about. Just looking at the illustrations here, you can look at them first and then look at the text later. And you can actually have the same experience as our little girl main character here if you flip through the book and look at the illustrations first before reading the text. This, I think, is my favorite illustration in this book. You can see here we've got somebody who's blowing bubbles, and the bubbles are actually turning into whales. So if you want to learn more about how this interesting problem of a book with no words is solved, definitely read The Whisper. It's been my great pleasure to share these books with you today. I hope you check them out. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you discover the power of words and stories and books for yourself. Thank you.